So our relationships get to teach us a lot about how to recover from the wounds of our childhood or the ones that are still there. So a lot of times when people are starting to date and people have been in a long-term relationship, they find that the same trauma triggers happen no matter who they're with sometimes. And that it's just an opportunity. And I don't necessarily love that word, that your trauma, your wounds of childhood is an opportunity for you to grow. I don't really love that saying or that phrasing. What I rather prefer is um, that you get to have a view and a reflection on the work that you might need to do on your trauma and on your childhood wounds to feel less wounded and to feel more healed. And I always think about it, it's like there's lots and lots of chapters of life. And sometimes in parts of our life when we're not very grounded, or when we're very stressed, um, or not as conscious, we suffer a lot during those times. We might not know we're suffering because we might be doing things that make us feel like we're doing okay or we're able to handle things. Sometimes being super busy, being high achieving, having a family, surrounding ourselves with a really nice community, we might not feel so much of our suffering. But if we're in intimate relationships and we haven't done a lot of work on our childhood wounding, it will come up. And I always think about that when I am interacting with the people in my life, that I always think about what's the things I've overcome with people, um, and how can I see that progress. Um, so there's a few things to think about there, right? So part of it is the whole idea about introversion and extroversion. And if you're a person that can surround yourself with lots of people and feel like you can be really social, if you're a person that can't do that and you feel sort of scrutinizing about yourself because you're not one that surrounds yourself with lots of people. And so sometimes our childhood wounds or even just our personalities, we have to accept some of the things about ourselves. Like I might never feel comfortable in that situation, public speaking or being the center of attention, because there might have been too many times where that was a really unsafe feeling or situation for me. So I may never put myself in that situation. And I think that's okay. And that's also a little different than just observing how your actions might be showing you where your trauma and your childhood wounds are still. So accepting yourself, accepting your limitations, accepting your capacity. Um, I also think one thing that's very interesting about childhood wounds is that sometimes we can almost see or feel or be surrounding ourselves with people that have very similar wounds as us. That might help us heal, but it also might help us just avoid them because we kind of get that people are sensitive, like we're sensitive. Um, so there's a lot to look at, and your relationships, especially your intimate relationships, are going to teach you a lot about yourself and your capacity and your emotional development. So I always use my relationships as a guide to um, to the work that I still have to do on myself, to the things that I long for myself, and whether I can get close to people in the ways that I want. And also that life is just a journey, right? And we have lots and lots of chapters and different things that happen to us in different chapters. Some of us um, get out of our childhood wounds and we don't feel like we revisit the trauma as much as we did at one other chapter. Someone was asking me that question the other day, is whether they will ever be free of the trauma. Will they ever not have all these memories, sort of these reoccurring ruminations? Will that ever happen for them? And I think it will. I think some of the areas you might always feel like you're a little fragile in, but I do think that there's lots of ways to grow and change and increase your functioning levels. I really do believe that. I really believe in the power of transformation and the power of healing And that's why I've done this work for so many years. It's healed me, and I've seen this work heal very, very many other people that I've worked with, and I've had that honor of being in um, this healing relationship with people, and it's been a gift in my life, and also a great reflection of how amazing people are, and how much people go through in their life and continue to achieve and grow and change and love. Just thought I'd give you some perspective.